Okay, in this video we're checking out the Mars Pro version 2 from FXT. I did a review video a while back, about a month ago, on the Mars Pro version 1. They made a few tweaks to this newer version. It's the same size as the version 1. And you bring it in here. The green one here is the version 1 here. It's a mini-sized camera, so it's 22 millimeters. In dimensions, side to side, on top to bottom. It's got the same M12 lens and the same 1000 TV line sensor. The difference between the version 1 and the version 2 now is that in the version 1 the aspect ratio is fixed, so you had to pick either the 4:3 or the 16:9 version, and the camera format was also fixed, NTSC or PAL. So there's actually 4 different versions of this, I believe, at the time, so you had to pick one. But now in the new Mars Pro version 2, 4:3 and 16:9 aspect ratios are selectable via menu, and also the camera format is also selectable NTSC and PAL via the menu. So again, this is I believe this very similar to the Predator sensor from Foxeer. As you know, in the version 3 of the Predator, they also added those features where you can switch between 16:9, 4:3 and NTSC and PAL, so I think this is also the same update. Of course, FXT, they've added their own little tweaks to their firmware, but the sensor is the same. Obviously the lens and the case is different here from FXT from the Foxeer version, so in terms of the field of view and the way the image looks, especially on the edges, I would encourage you to watch the flight demo at the end and compare this to the Predator and also to the original Mars Pro V1. There are some slight differences, but you can only really tell if you do a side by side. So you'll have to look at the flight footage from this one next to the flight footage from the Predator V3, and you'll be able to see the differences in the lens if you do those side by sides using 2 different browsers, and I did a video explaining how to do that. You should be able to do that with this and see the differences. Not a whole lot in terms of what I can tell. I know some people are more sensitive to that than others. I think there's a little bit less distortion in this lens. It's kind of hard to tell, but the colors are slightly different at least between the version 2 of the the version 1 of the Mars Pro and the version 2 of the Mars Pro. It's a little bit less saturated, but it's a little bit more sharper too. So, of course, these are all adjustable in the menus, and I'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, I think the default settings are a bit different between the version 1 and version 2 of the Mars Pro. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hook up this to the monitor. I'll show you what the menu differences are. And mainly here you see it defaults to PAL, and then you have these presets here, outdoor, indoor, I think, and night. I'll show you that here in a second. You have your same voltage reading on the bottom here, pilot name, and power on time. And you can see that it's a little bit less saturated in this image compared to the version 1 of the Mars Pro. And then going to the menu here, this is the main menu. This looks largely the same as before. We obviously go in here into, oops, that's the wrong, I'll change that back to off. And here, if you go into picture adjust these settings, I think the numbers are different here, so it might be the same, obviously the same sensor and everything, but the firmware might be a little bit tweaked to give these numbers a different meaning. So I wouldn't use the same numbers from the version 1 to the version 2, but these are the ones that are defaults in the version 2 camera. Now the main difference here is going to be in the OSD menu. This is where you can change the settings for PAL, NTSC, and the 4:3 16:9. You're going to press and hold the up button on the controller joystick, and then you get this familiar menu here. And everything here is, I believe, the same, except for these 2 things, scene and system. Here you can change your scene to outdoor, indoor, and light tracks. So those are the 3 options. We'll leave it as default as outdoor for the flight demo. And then here in our system you can turn that on or off. That's that PAL NTSC in the corner that you saw earlier. And then here we can go into adjust, and then we can change the video from PAL to NTSC, and we can change the format from 16:9 to 4:3. So what I did for the flight demo is I changed it to NTSC for my video recording setup, and then I left the default aspect ratio as 16:9 for the recording. But let me just show you what the format looks like in 16:9 here. In terms of the horizontal, you can see Goes to about the doorway. Well, actually, this little bulletin board here, this red box here, and then there's the bookcase over there. If I switch it to 4.3, it looks the same almost horizontally. It's like a little bit more in 16.9. So I'm thinking that this is a 16.9 sensor, and then the vertical field of view looks unchanged. If you see that, it doesn't change from 16.9 and 4.3. But you can see that there's more to see on the 16.9 versus the 4.3. So I think what's going on is it's a 16.9 sensor and they're cropping it down to 4.3 for the 4.3 image. So I'm going to leave it for the native 16.9 to get the most video possible from the sensor. And this is how you're going to see the video recording for the flight demo. And everything else here is the same in terms of like your name, time, power, horizon, all those things. For the flight demo, I turned all that off because I was using the Betaflight OSD and didn't want two OSDs on the screen, so I turned all that off. But for your normal default setting here, when you change the camera format to from PAL to NTSC, see NTSC now, the camera will reboot now, and now you see all my normal camera OSD stuff is on here. But for the flight demo, I turned that off. Anyway, that's going to do for this review of the Mars Pro V2. I'll go ahead and show you the flight demo now. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.